gosh, look at the crowd.
Come this way.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
You love the feeling of being renewed. To stay beautiful every single day. To breathe just like we do. Because you are truly delicate. Protecting the ones who've been with us through the years. With Sayalac Care, the only wood coating that truly protects you. Sayalac Wood Coatings from JAT.
Welcome to LMDtv. I'm Fazmina Imamudeen, and tonight with us is Niraj de Mel, the chairman of Sri Lanka Tea Board. I warmly welcome you to this show.
Good evening, Fazmina.
In big picture terms,
Mike.
Shall I repeat the question?
Please, yes.
Yes. In big picture terms, what is your take of the country's situation right now?
Well, as I see it across the board, there is a lot of disruptions as a result of the economic downturn that this country had to face. And I think first and foremost, we need to get our economic side sorted out. Because that's what is the cry of every person in this country, every citizen of this country, is to sort that area out, because I mean the shortages have to be dealt with, and of your fuel, your fertilizer, your medicine, your milk powder, all that, you know, it's become kind of I wouldn't say scarce, but there's a scramble for it, which shows that the supply situation is very tight, and that is all stemming from the fact that the country's economic situation is not good. So I believe the debt restructuring program that has already begun should now get fast tracked now with the election of the president this morning. I believe the work can be fast tracked with the IMF and the other countries that are ever willing to help Sri Lanka. So putting things into the right perspective with getting that area sorted out, which of course may not happen overnight, which will take a little bit of time. So that's the foundation that will, you know, flow down into the rest of the country's livelihood as well as industries to function in a sort of a unhampered manner. That's my take on it. So yeah.
How has the decision to prohibit the importation of chemical fertilizers in order to aggressively promote organic cultivation affected the tea industry?
Well, it did have a severe effect on the particularly starting from the volume side or quantity side. Quantity of tea produced was affected as a result of that decision, and the reason is that there was a ban imposed, I think, towards late April of 2021, but fortunately the effect of it didn't sort of, you know, emerge until about the latter 2 months of last year. We could see we started off 2021 on a good note, on a positive note, from a very dismal production year of 2020, which is as a result of bad weather at the beginning of the year, plus COVID and so on, that was turned and we looked upwards. And of course, we did end the year getting back to what Sri Lanka has been producing in the last 5-6 years. But the last 2 months, in effect, began to reveal the true effect of the non-application of fertilizer. You see, though we banned the importation of chemical fertilizer with this theme of going into total organic agriculture or green agriculture, we didn't even have that ready. So there was no nutrients going into the plants. So as a result of that, the impact of it was seen over the last 2 months. Thankfully, due to good weather we had in the year 2021, the first 10 months we were on a surplus, and thankfully that carried us through to end the year also on a positive note. But if you really look at month on month, you can see November and December began the huge impacts. We would have had a much better production last year had November and December followed the previous 10 months. So the decline that began from November last year has come on to this year, and now we just got the figures for the first half of the year 2022, where we are 18% behind last year for the same period last year. In volume terms, it's almost a 29 million kilo crop loss, which is all predominantly due to the non-application of fertilizer, which is as a result of that ban. So thankfully, better late than never, the ban was lifted towards the early part of this year or latter part of last year. I think early part of this year. And but by the time it was decided to lift the ban, so many other situations emerged, including, of course, the Russian-Ukrainian war. Between those two countries, they supply the largest amount of fertilizer to the world, to agriculture around the world. We got affected with that. So supply situation became tight. And on top of that, we began to go down in our economic situation. Our currency got weakened, drastically weakened after the taking of the rupee to the dollar was lifted and allowed it to free float somewhere middle of March. The net result is that the cost of a bag of fertilizer became so exorbitant for any farmer, be it tea farmer, the paddy farmer, vegetable farmer, all of them got affected. So that's where we are. But I will explain when we go on to your subsequent questions of what Tea Board is doing. Actually, we have stepped in to help them. So this is what happened. So even the ordering of importation of fertilizer also was slow because you needed foreign currency. We are short of foreign currency. So it's a compounded problem. All put together, the agriculture industry and in our case, the tea industry has been starved of the nutrients the tea bushers should receive. So the impact of that, or the implication of that, is what you see in terms of a fairly heavy crop loss, 18% down compared to last year. But having said that, I must tell you that if you compare this year's 6 months against the 6 months of the year 2020, which was one of the most dismal years that we had in the recent 2 decades, we are still doing a bit better. We are about 2.5 million kilos above that year. So I'm hopeful that with the measures that are going to be put in place, the second half, of course, already a month of the second half has almost come to an end. But I'm sure come September, October, with the mini cropping periods that starts again for the tea industry, we should be able to mitigate some of the losses. We are not going to catch up on last year, but we will at least mitigate to some extent of the loss that we are at the moment experiencing against last year. So that's the gist of the negative impact that the industry had to face as a result of this decision that was taken in April of last year. Thankfully, it was lifted. So hopefully we should see the tea prices also going very, very high now. I'm sure the plantation companies in particular, and even the grower, should be able to actually afford a bag of fertilizer now, better than what they would have done, let's say, in March or early part of April. So hopefully, I sincerely hope that all the producers will make it their top priority to give in the required nourishments to the tea bushers and help towards boosting the national production of tea.
How has the war in Ukraine taken a toll on tea exports, and how has this impacted the global market?
Well, Ukraine, if you take just strictly Sri Lankan tea exports to Ukraine, they command something like a 4% of our exports. But even though 4% may sound little, it makes quite a sizable impact in the tea market of Sri Lanka. Basically, all those countries, Russian Federation, the Commonwealth of Independent States, which includes Ukraine, all those countries are in different volumes, are people who are very faithful to Ceylon tea. They have been importing a lot of Ceylon tea, and their presence in the Colombo auctions is extremely important for us. So even though it's 4%, that volume is quite large, and if you taking that factor out, there is an impact on the prices. But at the moment, it's all got submerged because of this the depreciation of the rupee and tea prices going sky high in the backdrop of a low availability. It's not been captured so much, but there will come a time when Sri Lanka improves in production, where the Ukrainian non-presence would be felt to some extent. Having said that, it's not only Ukraine. The countries at war are Ukraine and Russia. Russia has thankfully been importing sizable quantity of Ceylon tea, but if you take the first 6 months, they are nowhere, I wouldn't say nowhere, they are actually less than what they did in the year 2021. One reason is that Colombo tea prices have gone up, but still I don't really buy that, because in dollar terms, the front end price has not gone up as much as the rupee prices, which is relevant to the producer in the country. It's not so much to the international marketing. So therefore, even though the prices have gone up, it's not so much of an impact. But yet, for all, maybe the low volumes and things like that is the reason that Russia has not taken in so much. But having said that, only now we are going into what they call the winter buying period. So we should see an intense Russian buying starting from August, September onwards. So there we will see how they will conclude the year in terms of intakes from Sri Lanka. So overall, the impact is not so much. We have not felt it so much. Once again, to summarize it, it is not definitely due to the fact that Sri Lankan availability is less than what we had last year. So therefore, there is less supply. So therefore, they all come in. So the impact has not been felt negatively. Prices have gone sky high rupee-wise, but still for all in the front end dollar prices, it's not so much of an increase. And the only issue that has happened is that this is actually not really because of the Ukrainian conflict with Russia, but it's a global situation that emerged after the COVID, where the shipping logistics have got severely affected. So there is a scramble for getting shipping space to get your cargo out. That impacts not only Sri Lanka, not only Sri Lankan tea, even other exports that we are doing, and even tea exports from other origins also are affected, because shipping lines have become very irregular.
Numerous industries have been severely tampered by the ongoing economic crisis, and tea is no exception. What steps should be taken to mitigate the effect of the crisis?
Yes, I agree. Undoubtedly, it has affected all industries, including us. But still, the tea industry goes on. I would like to start off by giving the little background to the tea industry. You see, Ceylon tea is one that brought into the country $1.2 billion in the year 2020 amidst the COVID downturn. And it followed with a 1.3 billion revenue in the year 2021. We had fully not got out of COVID. Even 2021 was quite a bad year with so much of, we had the second wave and the third wave all culminating from 2020 to 2021. So in spite of all those issues, that was one industry that continued in the backdrop. Again, unfortunately, we were restricted by lesser volumes, but still for all, we managed to serve the world and ensure that the foreign exchange earnings continued on a regular basis. There was no disruption. There were no highs and lows or ups and downs. And coming into this year, let me tell you that even amidst many challenges we are facing, particularly in the last 2 to 3 months, we are still managing, and it is proven from the fact that the first 6 months of this year have brought in approximately 578 million US dollars for exports in the first 6 months of this year. So going by that, if you simply double it, you're talking of a 1.1 plus industry for the when you take the whole year into account. So we can actually, I would be more bold to forecast about between 1.2 and 1.3 billion coming in even in this year because of the high tea prices. And globally also, I feel that, you know, the prices of commodities are soaring, right? Not only tea, everything is soaring across the board. There were a lot of articles saying that Indian tea prices are going up and all that. Well, they are not going up, not only because of the Sri Lankan the short supply situation. It is actually helping all commodities across the world, including tea right around the world. So I believe we will continue to rise in tea prices in spite of the disruptions. But one thing that should be done is that there must be a proper mechanism in place where the communication flow from the government administration must properly and fairly and justly flow down, right down to, let's say, the petrol shed attendant, the pump attendant. The instructions, proper instructions must go right down. Right now, what is happening is there's a lot of indiscipline. As a result of that, they are holding sway when it comes to issuing of diesel and petrol, and it's been distributed in a very irregular manner. The proper communication is not, the communication flow is not happening properly right down from wherever it should originate, whether it's from the CPETCO or whether it's from the Ministry of Power and Energy or wherever. The proper information must flow down so that even the pump attendant knows whom to give and so on. You see, I'm saying this from the backdrop of tea industry was declared an essential service. Initially, it was only agriculture. When you say agriculture, it was expected to include tea, but you know, you got to spoon feed these guys that agriculture includes tea. So ultimately, we managed to get plantations in, so that helped the tea industry, the rubber industry, the spice industry, and all the others that comes under the plantation, you know, quote unquote plantations. But still, that information has not gone out to that guy. So he thinks it's only agriculture, that means paddy or vegetables. So, and of course, so many other corruption happening. All that must be eradicated. Even in this situation, I'm sure if that part is controlled and proper instructions given and seen to it that nothing irregular happens, I think the industries can function better than what is doing right now.
Challenges are being experienced by all parties involved, including the growers, manufacturers, producers, brokers, and exporters, among others. How is the Tea Board responding to this situation?
Well, Tea Board has its functions. Primarily, the Tea Board functions are the regulatory area to ensure that the matter of operations in the manufacture sector and the manner of operations of conducting the tea auction, and then the buyers buying at the tea auctions, and most of whom are actually exporting, that all that functions within the given laws of the Tea Board Act and the laws enacted by the Colombo Tea Traders Association, which conducts the tea auctions, which is responsible for that, seconded by the Tea Board to them. Then beyond that, it's the promotion area that the Tea Board has responsibility in. But today, what has happened is, with this fuel shortage, all the inquiries all the complaints and calls are coming into the Tea Board. Tea Board is inundated with calls from growers and manufacturers in particular, asking for this situation, and we've been taking that matters up with the powers that be, with the appropriate ministries, and ensuring that this is you know, made available to them. But still, I would personally say that I'm not happy the way it's happening. If I could do more to help them, it's good. But it's just that, you know, we've got to work within what is available, the given the boundaries within which we have to work, because there are different ministries involved in this. There is the public administration ministry that has to get involved in getting the right message down to, let's say, the district secretaries, Pradeshi Sabha secretaries, and so on. Then there is the CPETCO that has to, send down the instructions properly, right down to the petrol sheds, and now getting the Sri Lanka Transport Board depots involved in distributing fuel to essential service areas, which includes us. That must come from the Sri Lanka Transport Board chairman. So all these areas must actually function parallelly in tandem and get the message across properly right now. The communication should be in place properly. That proper mechanism has to be in place for that. So within that, Tea Board is doing its damnness. But I must say that, as I said at the beginning, I'm not fully satisfied that we are able to help them out. We feel sorry when they keep calling them and our hands are tied. When we tell them, look, we have taken it up with this secretary and that ministry and so on. I'm sure when it doesn't happen at the back end, then they think that we have not done anything. Actually, we are doing our best within this the strict boundaries within which we have to work. So that's what we've been doing. The other area is actually the provision of fertilizer. Now that we got involved, and there's a low interest loan scheme made available to manufacturers, including regional plantation company estates, to receive, depending on their fertilizer requirements. Funds are being transferred through the tea brokers, so that the recovery can be made from auction proceeds from the manufacturers and estates, and pay the Tea Board on the stipulated dates. So we've come forward to help them at a very, very low interest rate loan. So that's got off the ground. So we sincerely hope, and we are trying to also put in place some kind of promotion work to incentivize the farmers, the tea growers, the smallholders in particular, and the other growers, the large scale growers, to get down to taking this fertilizer, applying to the starved tea bushers, and get them rejuvenated, all with a view, because there are two things to this. Not only the production gets affected, even the quality of the green leaf is affected if you don't put in the necessary nutrients in time. It's like our lives, we need to have the proper nourishments to be, to lead a healthy life. So does the tea bush. So when the bush is properly nourished, the leaf that it gives out and that is plucked gives you the lovely cup of tea that you want, that has the required strength and briskness and so on. If it doesn't get the nourishments, the leaf will be, is a lifeless thing, and doesn't give you that thrill in drinking or enjoying a cup of tea. So we hope that this message will be taken on board. We hope to have this promotion program either through apps and things like that to get the farmer, incentivize him to go ahead and pick up the bag of fertilizer and apply it on the stipulated periods, so that there'll be more production as we go along, and healthy production.
An industry that's been around for a century and is one of our primary exports is currently being challenged, like you say. Does this put us at risk of being overtaken by competitors from other nations in the global market? What can be done about this?
Well, our industry has faced many challenges from other producing countries. Actually, the producing countries that were there, let's say, going back to the 1960s, were only few, right? And Sri Lanka really was ahead, because we were the only one who were able to give the world a dependable, a reliable quantity of tea. So if you put it down to numbers, even today, we export about 90% of our production. The country's internal consumption is about 10% of the production. So let's say 15. So we export about 85 to 90% of our production to the countries around the world. We export to about 150 countries in the world, with about 20 largest accounting for about 80 to 85% of the total cake. Having said that, many countries have now joined the bandwagon. They've all come out to the block, particularly the African countries, and they are all the tea is very new, so therefore their production is very high. So they are a challenge. They have been made available at very low prices. They have been able to manage their costs at a low level. Their cost of production is not as high as Sri Lanka. Our living standards are high compared to other tea producing countries. Even we are higher than India in that respect. So as a result of that, our tea costs are very, very high. So we need to always keep our prices. If our industry is to be viable, we need to be higher than the cost of production. We have been challenged many years around the last 2 decades and more with this ever rising cost of production against the prices that we could fetch in the world market. Having said that, even amidst all these challenges, I believe the uniqueness of Ceylon tea still merits recognition. So as a result of that, everybody wants to have some sort of Ceylon tea in their packs. Even though Sri Lanka is very, very popular in the world with very well-known household brands of our own, so many global brands, they want to have Ceylon tea in their blend menu. So as a result of that, nobody wants to go away. That is because of the uniqueness of Ceylon tea. And remember, though we are a small island of 65,000 square kilometers, the tea is grown in a much smaller area than entire 65,000, because we are, as we discussed at the beginning, the central area, the Sabaragamo and southern provinces are the ones that where the tea is grown predominantly, and of course the Uva. Even from all that area, there is so much of diversity in our tea. Tea grown in let's say in the lower Hatton area is different from the tea grown in, let's say, Muskeli area close to Siripada. Then going up to Nuwara is a different type of a tea, and so all that has made us very popular, reputed, that we could give the cup of tea that will brew well in the different waters in the world. So that is the key. That is the key for us. So everybody still, even amidst all these challenges, they will say, okay, Sri Lanka is not reliable. We can go here, there. It's not as easy as that, because they need to have that Ceylon tea, because the teas that are grown in the low elevations, they are a predominant requirement among the Middle Eastern countries and even the Russia, right? So therefore, even with these challenges, even with new countries emerging as tea producing nations, I think we will still hold the fort, because if you take even though in production we have come down in our share in the global cake, in the supplies, in terms of supplies, we are still holding on to 15-16% of the global supplies. That is because thankfully China and India, world's number 1 and number 2 tea producing countries, 80% of their production is consumed internally. So as a result of that, they can make available only about 20% to the outside world. So that's where, that's another thing that they are not a challenge to us. So we need to preserve this. We need to preserve this by providing all the necessary infrastructure available, so that our industry can function smoothly. So that involves the entire value chain, starting from the grower, the manufacturer, the tea broker, who makes it possible to help the manufacturer turn his produce into cash, and the buyer, who predominantly of whom it's denominated mostly by the exporters. The buyer fraternity, all those people must be provided. For example, all the requirements of diesel should be provided, so that they all function. It's a chicken and egg situation. You can't provide only the grower and starve the exporter. Then of course you won't get your dollars in. You need to ensure that the exporter is also functioning, and also make sure that for exporter to export, he must have the produce available coming from the grower through the manufacturer, right? So the entire value chain has to be looked at on an even keel.
How can the tea industry, in that sense, leverage on the rupee devaluation?
Well, in rupee terms, that's why I said in answering to some of your questions earlier on, I said, internally we are getting a very high price, and that is exclusively because of, or I won't say exclusively, mostly because of the almost an 80% depreciation of the Sri Lankan rupee has helped us to get a very high price at the tea auction level, which is enjoyed by the producer, right? So it has helped immensely. Having said that, that's why I said even to buy the now expensive bag of fertilizer, they can afford it. But having said that, or you can say it's easier said than done, the cost of living has gone up, right? So part of the increase that they're enjoying as a result of the rupee devaluation will go towards his consumption, right? That is on as far as the producer is concerned. Then on the other side, even for the exporter, you may ask the question, why can't you pay a higher price. You see, at that depreciated rupee, now he has to import a lot of inputs, not a lot like the garment industry, but particularly those who are doing value addition for tea bagging. You know, there is so much of things. The flavors have to be imported for their marketing purposes, the different flavored teas that are exported. So across the board, to get those imported inputs in, and even a simple tea bag. I mean, when I say tea bag, the tea sack that is that the manufacturer needs to pack his tea, manufacture tea, the material is imported. So those are getting expensive. So as a result of that, there is a kind of yes, partly they are enjoying the benefits coming in as a result of the devaluation of the rupee, but partly much more money is going out for the imported inputs. So there's a kind of a balanced situation happening here. Not really to say that, you know, the producer is enjoying, though he's getting a higher return or a higher income. He also has to spend more money than he did before to get his inputs in, to have the tea manufactured, packed, and sent across to the. Now, see, his diesel costs has gone up phenomenally. So, like that, those are just a few examples that I can cite. How, as much as there are pluses as a result of a rupee devaluation, there are also we need to take into consideration the minuses that come in because of the quite a bit of imported input. As you know, that Sri Lanka is a import-dependent country, and that is one of the main causes for our country's economy to be in this state today, right? So we need to improve, do something when we are steady to get on to, if not already in place, at least establish import substitute industries in this country. And that way, over a period of time, we should be able to, you know, mitigate or even bring down quite a bit from what we are just spending out in terms of imports, you know.
Does the massive Chinese market offer opportunities for us to expand our export there? What about green tea, for example?
Yes, it's expanding market for us. Actually, we have shown it from our figures. If I was able to show you the Sri Lankan exports to China, that is black tea, not green tea, but black tea, because China is out of their, as I said, out of their total production. They are the largest producer in the world, and out of their production, almost 75 to 80% is green tea, right? So they themselves have their own green tea. So I don't think there's much joy in them importing green tea, what they already have. Having said that, what are they taking from Sri Lanka? It's black tea. And our black tea exports to China has grown year on year on a consecutive basis, starting from about the year 2010, 2011. It has gone up to what it was at the end of last year. But somehow, for whatever reason, I suppose the internal issues in China and things like that, this year, for the first 6 months, the Chinese offtake from Sri Lanka is about 1 million to 2 million kilos behind the same quantity they did for this quantity they did for the same period last year, the first half of the last year. So, but still, that's a huge market. I myself have experienced that market by going there quite a number of occasions. There's a lot of potential in that. It reminds me of how Sri Lanka made inroads into the Japanese market in the late 60s, early 70s. Until then, Japan was exclusively a green tea drinking and a oolong tea drinking country. The younger generation at that time in Japan began to try out black tea, and that's how Japan has become a very important black tea market for Sri Lanka. So in the same way, I see the same potential even in the Chinese market, provided we do our marketing right, get our teas across, and you see one plus point that stands for Sri Lanka is that we are very reliable as a supplier. Every country, every importing country in the world have always depended on Sri Lanka. Given the choice, they wouldn't mind even paying $5, $10, $20 more for the same type of tea which they would have got cheaper from another origin because of the reliability of Sri Lankan tea exporters. We make sure our system is so structured. There's a weekly auction which has right now is about 5 million kilos a week. But in our best days, we have gone up to 7 to even 8 million at heavy cropping periods. But definitely between 6 and 7, we've always had the weekly auctions. So that gave them that confidence they can get that amount of tea from Sri Lanka. And true to their word, we will also make sure that the teas are turned around and shipped out within the period of, depending on how they want it packaged or processed. within 3 weeks, 4 weeks to about less than 2 months for sure to get our teas out. But any other origin, they will promise delivery in 1 month, but ultimately it gets there maybe 3-4 months later. And until recently, the shipping lines were also very regular in Colombo. Only with this import ban and of course the Chinese closure in the year 2020 and then sudden opening up about half a year or 8 months later caused a lot of disruptions to the shipping schedules. So since then, the the logistical situation has become very irregular. But until then, we had the vessels, so many lines were coming to Colombo and we were making use of that. And overall, there was no overall import ban also at that time. So there were vessels that were coming to Colombo, bringing in the import cargo and taking the export cargo from us. So therefore, tea benefited. There were regular vessels, shipments. Today, it's not that regular as it was until about 2019.
Thank you, sir, for taking your time to provide perspective on crisis-struck tea exports, which are absolutely crucial to Sri Lanka's economy.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the opportunity afforded to me. It's my pleasure to have been on this show. Thank you. Good night.
You're welcome, sir.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for watching and stay safe.